So today's recipe is buffalo cauliflower tacos. It's a really yummy vegetarian dish, and it's simple, it's easy, of course it's delicious, and because we bake the cauliflower as opposed to frying it, it's also healthy. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Carla from Cooking for Kales, and if this is your first time here and you're interested in easy, simple, and delicious recipes that's not going to break the bank, then subscribe and click that notification bell so that you know the next time I upload another video. This recipe that I'm making today is from one of my favorite food bloggers. Her name is Lindsay and her blog is Pinch of Yum. She has some awesome recipes on it. In fact, she's a very popular food blogger. You might have heard of it already, but if you haven't, I will put a link to her blog in the description below. And I highly recommend that you go check her out. So before we get started, I just want to talk a little bit about the main ingredient here, cauliflower. Cauliflower. Since I've been eating more vegetarian meals lately, I've always liked cauliflower, but since I've been eating more vegetarian meals lately, cauliflower has become sort of one of my favorite vegetables to go to. The reason why is because it's so versatile. You can do so much with it. You can add it to pastas, you can add it to macaroni and cheese, you can make pizza base out of it, you can grate it and use it as rice, as a substitute for rice if you're watching carbs, or you can do what I'm going to do with it today, which is make these tacos. So let's get started. So as I said, the cauliflower is going to be baked and not fried. So to prepare it for the oven, what I've done is I've washed the head of cauliflower and I've cut it up into these little florets and washed those off so that's ready. And what we're going to do is create a very simple batter. 2 ingredients. I've got 3/4 cups of flour, just plain all-purpose flour, and 3/4 cups of water. Now on Lindsay's blog, her recipe calls for 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of water, but because my cauliflower head is quite small, I'm just reducing the batter slightly. So you just mix the flour and the water together, and then we're going to season this with a bit of garlic salt, about a teaspoon of garlic salt, some salt and pepper. Just about a teaspoon of both salt and pepper as well. I'm eyeballing this. That looks about a teaspoon. Stir this back up again. And then you take the cauliflower florets and you dump them into this batter. Stir them around so they get all coated. Okay, that looks good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the cauliflower florets onto a baking sheet. And what I've got here is I've got a rack that I'm going to oil, and I've got some foil at the bottom of this pan so that the drippings fall down and it's easier for me to clean up. But you can also bake these on a cookie sheet with just some parchment paper. So I'm also preheating the oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius. So now what we want to do is just take some tongs and place the cauliflower onto the rack. And then these are going to go in the oven for twice bake. The first time will be for 10 to 15 minutes until they're golden brown. And then after, we'll put some hot sauce on them. And then they go back in for a few minutes. And now they're ready for the oven. They're going to be in there for 10 to 15 minutes or until they go nice and golden brown. Okay guys, they've been in the oven for about 15 minutes. And as you can see, they're starting to get a little bit of brown spots on them. So the next step, what you do is you remove these from the pan. So you put them back into the bowl, and then the next thing you do is you pour over it a 1/4 cup of hot sauce. I'm using Tabasco sauce, but you can use whatever is your favorite hot sauce. So these are, of course, buffalo flavored cauliflower. Just gonna shake them up a bit so they're all covered in the hot sauce. Then you take them and you put them back onto the sheet or to the rack, whatever you're using. And they will go back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes. Now you could make these crispier if you deep fried them. These won't have the same sort of crispiness as if you deep fried it, but they are crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, crispy enough for me. And by baking them, they're also healthier. So we're gonna put these back in the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes, and then they'll be all good and done. Okay, so I've taken them out of the oven. It's been another 10 minutes and it's all ready. So now what we need to do is to pull it all together and make these tacos. What I have are some small flour tortillas, and I also made some fresh coleslaw. What I did was I shredded a bit of cabbage, 1 carrot, and then for the coleslaw mix, what I used was 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise, a teaspoon of mustard, and 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, and a bit of pepper, and I just mixed that all together. So that's ready. And I also have a little bit of avocado and some cilantro here, and I think you guys call it cilantro or coriander. And a bit of sour cream. So let's pull this together. First thing you do is add a little bit of the coleslaw at the base in the middle of the flour tortilla. Then we're going to take a couple of pieces of this cauliflower and add them across just like you would do a fish taco or a regular meat taco. I'm going to put a couple of pieces of avocado in the middle as well. That, a bit of the sour cream, and a sprinkle of the cilantro. And voila! There you go. Buffalo cauliflower tacos. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Let's give this a taste. Yum. I better stop eating because I've got to put this together for James and Caleb as well. Bye guys.